All right. Let's just get into it. We're going to talk about Justin Tucker. Hey everyone, it is Josh here from No Buts About It. If you haven't heard yet, it has only been a few hours, but Baltimore Ravens kicker Justin Tucker has been accused of some sexual misconduct. And I kind of went back and forth on whether I should post a video, whether I should not. Ravens aren't necessarily a team we cover a whole bunch, but I do feel an obligation to our viewers, um, as a somewhat journalistic source. That I do think the fans deserve to have this information, about someone who has been in the league a long time, is a big name in the league, and had been a well respected name in the league. Um, every team kind of has those players where even if you're not a fan of that team or you even hate that team, there's players that you like. And I always felt like Justin Tucker was one of those guys. Obviously, these allegations may change that. I'm not going to get into a ton of detail though, because first of all, some of the stuff is obviously graphic, and the YouTube censors would shut it down automatically, and I don't want that to happen. Um, and then also, uh, I know some people viewing may have traumatic histories, and if I get too graphic, that may affect them negatively. And I don't want that to happen, and that's completely understandable, by the way. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of briefly overview what the article from the Baltimore Banner said. I will be looking down at my phone just because I've got some quotes that I screenshotted on here that I want to read. So if you see me looking down at any point, that is why. But without further ado, let's kind of get into this brief overview. So basically, Justin Tucker is being accused of sexual misconduct from six massage therapists from the years 2012, which was his rookie year with the Baltimore Ravens, to 2016. So we've got a roughly 4 year span here. Um, he's being accused of exposing his genitals at times, brushing them with his genitals, and leaving stuff behind. And like I said, I'll link the article so you can read in full detail if you want. But several therapists, according to the article, have said Tucker's behavior was so egregious they ended sessions early and refused to work on him ever again. Um, so obviously, six different women who the article says never knew each other. They never had communicated with each other before this, and had never gone to law enforcement, according to the article. So this is all new information from the Baltimore Banner. These three reporters who said that they received a tip on January 9th to look into it. They published it, I think, around 1:30 today, so about three hours ago at the time of recording this. So that's kind of what we've got. One woman who is only named, like, her name's redacted, but the article calls her Jay, says, "I can't watch sports anymore. I see his face everywhere." So obviously a traumatic event occurred to her here, allegedly, and she's saying that it affects her in all sports. And I believe this is also the woman. There was one woman who the article has a Facebook post of that says she can't see field goals the same anymore, from 2013. So if she posted that back in 2013, um, I'm not going to share my opinion, but you can draw your own conclusions with that. The lawyer who is representing the women said his name is Michael Belsky with the SBWD law firm. He's a partner there. The allegations of exploitation that have come from my clients are voluminous, excuse me, very similar and very troubling. Each of my clients has expressed profound, long-lasting impact as a result of these allegations. Completely understandable. These allegations are very, don't look good. They don't look good for Justin Tucker. They're very strong allegations in terms of what they contain that he allegedly did. And I'm going to keep saying the word allegedly just because I don't want to get sued. That's not me saying I think he didn't do it or I think he did do it. This is just all alleged, innocent until proven guilty. Again, I will link the article myself in the bio, in the description, and you can read it and draw your own conclusions. I'm just going to keep saying allegedly so that nothing can be, drawn back to me. One other massage therapist named E said it felt premeditated. It made me feel even more gross because I was pregnant. She was 7 months pregnant at the time, I believe the article says, when she was working on Justin Tucker as a massage therapist, allegedly. And then the the Justin Tucker's lawyers, I guess, told these reporters at the Baltimore Banner to reach out to like a dozen other massage therapists that have also worked on Justin Tucker, and we're basically saying like, okay, yes, these 6 women have come to you with these allegations, but look at all these other massage therapists who have worked on Justin Tucker and have never had any issues with him. So we read some of the quotes from the alleged uh, alleged allegations from the women that are alleging that he performed these acts. Here's what some of the massage therapists that the lawyers pointed to have said. One is named Martina Duncan. She was contracted by the Ravens and from 2016 to 2019, worked on Justin Tucker twice a week in that time frame. And she said, I always found the relationship with him to be professional and platonic. The boundaries always stayed really clear as a client and therapist. Whoever is making these allegations is beyond whatever I've ever experienced. So she's saying she has never experienced anything like this with Justin Tucker. This is completely outside of anything that she has ever experienced working with him. And she has been with him since really the end of these allegations. So the last of these allegations comes in 2016, and she started working with him in 2016. So those time frames kind of butt up against each other in some ways, and she seems pretty surprised by these allegations that they're not something that she would expect to come from him. Another lady, Delina Young, worked with Tucker under contract for the past 2 years, described their interactions as professional. She said he often talked about his wife and child. I think he got married in 2015, if I'm remembering correctly. So to kind of put a time frame on this, and child, I don't remember when his child was born. But Delina describes him as very professional, very honorable, very upstanding, and very loyal to his family. So you've got these very different versions of Justin Tucker that are being told by these witness testimonies that are being shared by the Baltimore Banner. And that's not necessarily to say one is telling the truth and one is lying. It's just going to, I think, in some ways make this situation harder to get a grasp on. Unfortunately, this shares a ton of similarities to the Deshaun Watson issues, and we all know how that ended up. I do ultimately hope that truth kind of prevails here, no matter what it is, because I always hope that the truth prevails. Let's read what Justin Tucker's statement is on the matter. He said that he obviously he is, again, he's saying he didn't do it. But let's read that. The allegations in the Baltimore Banner article about me are unequivocally false. Throughout my career as a professional athlete, I have always sought to conduct myself with the utmost professionalism. I have never before been accused of misconduct of any kind, and I have never been accused of acting inappropriately in front of a massage therapist or during a massage therapy session or during other body work. I have never received any complaints from a massage therapist. I've never been dismissed from massage therapy or bodywork session, and I've never been told I was not welcome at any spa or other place of business. And just as a caveat, because I don't think I mentioned it, another part of the allegations that the article outlines is that he has been banned from two of these places. So that's an important note as well. So that's what he's referencing there, that he was the I was not welcome at any spa or other place of business. So I think I forgot to mention that. Uh, Back to his statement. In accusing me of misconduct, the article takes innocuous or ambiguous interactions and skews them so out of proportion they are no longer recognizable, and it presents vague insinuations as fact. This is desperate tabloid fodder. It is no surprise that the paper's interactions with me were marked by journalistic failures at every turn. When I first learned that the newspaper was writing this article, they refused to reveal the full claims they were planning to make against me. It wasn't until I was forced to hire the leading defamation law firm in the US to write to the paper that they finally revealed that they were planning on writing. Then, when they did finally provide some of this information, they gave me next to no time to provide a response. It is clear why. They had no interest in what I or anyone else had to say. Once I reviewed the newspaper's allegations against me, it was apparent that the newspaper was deliberately misconstruing events as nefarious, which were not, and were relying on third party speculation to create the false preconceived narrative about me that they believed would generate clicks. The newspaper had already written this false, salacious profile well before ever attempting to speak to me or at any of the bodywork professionals. I have worked with closely for the better part of the last decade. The newspaper made no effort to interview these key witnesses until prompted to do so by my defamation attorney. So another caveat, I believe he is referencing those dozen or more massage therapists that the lawyers told him to go reach out to, and those last two quotes that I gave were from two of those women. Back to the statement, because they did not want to hear what they had to say about me. I have always made a conscious effort to be considerate and respectful in all of my interactions with the community that I love so much. It is devastating for me to learn that anyone would feel I was offensive in any way. I maintain I did not act inappropriately at any point before, during, or after a professional bodywork treatment session. I would never intend to offend or hurt anyone ever. As a matter of principle, I respect when individuals come forward to report misconduct of any kind. I support a process that allows claims to be properly investigated. But for the sake of myself and my family, I cannot allow false claims to go unchallenged. I cannot be any clearer. These allegations are false and incredibly hurtful to both me and, more importantly, my family. So he's saying there's not true. This whole article is just created to generate clicks against him. Um, he's a big name, and that they he calls it tabloid fodder. You know, those magazines that you see at grocery store checkouts that basically say like Brad Pitt is getting divorced every 2 months or whatever. You know, so that's what he's kind of comparing this to, or is comparing this to, in fact. So I'm not gonna give my opinion on anything. That's the brief overview. That's what we know right now. Again, it's only been like 3 hours since this article came forth. We're very early in the process. We will continue to update you though as we know more um, about the subject, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe so that you don't miss any of that. I will provide the article down in the comments, or not in the comments, in the description. That way, so you can read that as well. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.